Could you please state your full name for the record?
Crescent Lasai.
Miss Lasai, do you know somebody by the name of Dulce Melander?
Yes, I do.
How do you know her?
She's my girlfriend.
Does she refer to you often as Cress?
Yes, everyone mostly does. And you
Okay.
can as well.
Do you know somebody by the name of Catherine Melander?
Yes, I do.
How do you know her?
I know her through Dulce. She's her daughter.
Through Catherine or Kat, did you become acquainted with somebody by the name of Chandler Halderson?
Yes.
What sort of relationship did you have with Chandler in June or so of 2021?
Well, I didn't spend a whole lot of time with Chandler. To know him through Catherine mostly. Most
Sure.
of the times I saw him were either get-togethers or through her.
Roughly, where do you live?
In Cottage Grove, in the town.
In a rural part of Cottage Grove?
Yes.
Is this an overhead picture of your property in Cottage Grove?
Yes, it is.
And right here, this is a pool?
Yes.
Okay. And all of this wooded area, is that your property?
Yes.
And there's more property over here that's not shown.
True. That's correct.
What is on that property?
It's all grassy area. It's in a CRP program, a set-aside program, so it's just for wildlife.
Before July 4th weekend, how many times approximately had Chandler been out to your property?
Ooh, I couldn't say exactly. I could give you an estimate.
Sure, an estimate is just fine.
Like 10 or 12 times, maybe.
Did he ever come out there prior to the July 4th weekend by himself, or was he always with somebody else?
He always was with someone else. He'd never come out there alone before that I'm aware of.
And generally, I assume that was his girlfriend, Kat?
Yeah, she was always with him.
Prior to July 4th weekend, what understanding did you have as far as what Chandler did for a living?
Well, what I understood is he had gotten a job at American Family. He was working there as far as I knew.
Do you see Chandler Halderson over the July 4th weekend?
Yes,
What day did you see him?
on Sunday.
So July 4th itself.
Yes.
How did Mr. Halderson behave on that day?
Well, he kind of seemed a little lot not like himself. That
Can
makes
you
sense.
describe that?
He just seemed kind of off, like kind of weird, actually. I mean, I remember asking him how he felt, because he just kind of seemed.
Okay, you asked him how he felt. What did you remember how he responded?
Yeah, he just said, "Oh, I'm doing okay, or I'm doing the best that I can," and because he had an accident, he fell down the stairs or something. So I thought maybe it was because of the accident that he was acting off.
Was he displaying any physical symptoms on July 4th?
Not that I saw, no.
Was he wearing a neck brace at all on July 4th when you saw him?
No.
Did he act in any way that he seemed like disabled?
No, I didn't notice that.
Did you have any one-on-one conversations with Chandler on July 4th?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, shortly after he was done eating, the kids were sitting at the table in my family room. They had gotten up and I was kind of walking towards the kitchen, and he approached me and asked me if he could have my phone number, my personal phone number, because he wanted to know if he could come and use the pool.
Did you give him your number?
Yeah, I gave him my cell number, and I also gave him my landline, because I don't always answer my cell phone and I don't have voicemail on my cell phone.
Did you guys have any further discussion on that day?
I don't recall.
So obviously prior to July 4th, he didn't have your number to your knowledge.
Not to my knowledge. I didn't give it to him.
Okay. And in all fairness, when you hung out with Chandler prior to July 4th, it was always with other people.
Yes.
Namely, Dulce and her family.
Correct.
As of July 4th, did you have any knowledge about the whereabouts of Chandler's parents?
No, I didn't even know their names.
Had you heard any stories or anything about them being missing at this point?
No.
Let's fast forward to the next day. Did you have any interactions with Chandler on Monday, July 5th?
Yes.
What's the first interaction you had with Chandler on that day?
The first interaction was I opened up my window. I live in a two-story, and I saw a car in my driveway. I came in from outside to get a drink of water, and I saw a car, and I didn't recognize the car. And someone was standing in my driveway, and it was Chandler. Okay. So I opened the window because he was kind of standing holding his phone and looking around. And so I opened the window, and I asked him if he was okay. And he said, yeah. And I said, are you here to use the pool? And he said, yeah, would that be all right? And I said, yeah, sure.
Were you expecting Chandler that day?
No.
All right. So do you remember about what time he showed up to use your pool?
It was in the afternoon. I just remember coming in. It was really hot that day. I was working on a project.
What was Chandler like when you talked to him right there about using the pool?
You mean when he was in the driveway?
Yeah.
Well, he just looked a little kind of spaced out a little bit, That's why I was kind of, because he kept looking around and holding his phone and. And like I said, I was just a little startled because I'm like, who's here,
Your property's pretty remote.
Yeah, it is.
What happened after you told Chandler he could use the pool?
He drove up. I live on a hill, and when you come to the driveway, it's kind of in the middle of the hill, and so you have to drive further up the hill to where the pool is. So he drove up there.
Did you see at this time where he parked?
No, I did not see where he had parked at that time.
Okay. Do you guys have any further discussion before he goes to use the pool?
He did come down to where I was working on my project, which was putting on a ramp on my deck. And so when I was working on that, there's a hill that leads down to my house, and he'd come walking down that hill. And then we had a conversation.
What did you guys talk about?
He was telling me about his accident. He said he was at a doctor's appointment. And so he was talking to me about what the doctor had said and what was going on.
What did he say occurred?
Well, he told me that he had damage, and I asked him where, and he said in this area of his head.
And did he elaborate on what that damage was?
Well, he said it wasn't good, that they might have to do some surgery or something, and that he said he was having trouble with numbers, and he said he got lost, he had to use a GPS. He just said his mind was kind of messed up and wasn't thinking so well.
Did you guys discuss anything besides just his physical health?
Yeah, I asked basically how he was overall doing and about his job, because he said he was getting a new job in Florida, and I asked him about that, and said that he probably wasn't going to get the job, that some manager had told him that it wasn't going to work out because of his injury, that he wasn't able to work. And then I'd asked him about maybe he could go back to American Family, and he said no, and he wouldn't be able to do that. So he seemed concerned about, maybe not having a job and what was he going to kind of do. And I asked, would he talk to his parents, maybe could he talk to them, or, things like that, just to try to reassure him, because he just seemed upset about this news that he had gotten from the doctor.
Sure. And what did he respond to that?
And he said, no, they're still up north. And I just says, well, maybe it would help you to talk to them. And his response is, he says, no, they'll just be mad. And which seemed odd to me, why his parents would be upset with him, that he was hurt and couldn't work. It just seemed odd to me.
How long do you think this conversation took place?
I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or so.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
All right. What happened after the conversation?
Dulce showed up. She'd come. I wasn't expecting her, but she had come to the house, and she came through the house. We were sitting on the deck, and she came and was like, what's going on? And I said, oh, well, I'm just chatting with Chandler here, and I guess he doesn't have such good news. And then she came out and sat down and asked what was going on. We started to kind of go back over what him and I had talked about to explain to her what was happening.
What kind of happened next in the events of
Well, then he
that
went
day?
to go use the pool, because before he'd come down and I'd asked him, how was the pool? He didn't answer, and he said he was going to go back to use the pool. And then Dulce and I continued to talk because we just felt something was a little odd, so we were concerned, and her and I had a conversation about him of what was going on.
And then what happened after that?
Well, I kind of got irritated. It was so hot, and I wanted to go swimming, and I was waiting for him to be done using the pool so I could go jump in the pool. And so I was getting impatient and waiting, So I said, look, I'm going to go get in the pool. I'm done. And she said, okay. So she went to go get her suit, and then her and I have this little riding lawnmower. And so we got on the riding lawnmower to go up to tell him, hey, we're going to go swimming now. When we got up there, he wasn't in the pool, and the cover was still on the pool. And
The pool has a cover.
yeah, I have like a solar. It heats up. It helps get the water warm, so it just lays flat on the top.
And obviously you have to remove said cover to get into the pool.
Yeah, there's times I got lazy where I could fold it over just to get in, but I usually like to take it off so I could have the whole
Was it
pool.
folded over so somebody could get in at all?
No.
So the covers on the pool is Chandler in sight when you're over by the pool.
No.
Here's the pool, the round blue. This is an aerial photo, so it almost just looks like a dot. So what do you do next?
Well, when we drove up and you could kind of see no one was in the pool, I was looking for him, and then when we came up the hill, I had the doors open in the shed, and I could see through the shed that his car was parked on the other side of the shed.
He was parked kind of near, this is some wood and an oil drum.
Yeah, there's a pile of timber logs.
Kind of near the wooded line here. Do you remember what kind of vehicle he was driving that day?
It was like a little station wagon, like a hatchback.
Okay.
It might have been a Subaru, I'm not sure.
Do you know, was the hatch open, closed, something else?
The back hatch, the back was open.
All right, so that's where you observed the car, the back hatch was open. What do?
Well, yeah, because we go and he's not in the pool and we see the car and then I'm like, what the heck is going on? What is he doing? And I said, well, I'm going to go over and Dulce was like, we were like, what's he doing? You know, what is going on? So we drove over to see if he was in the back of the car. Was he sleeping? What was he doing? Was he smoking weed or something? We didn't know. So we drove over there and with the mower and approached, and I drove to the back of the car because the back end was backed towards me. So
Okay.
we drove in the mower and drove to the back of the car because I thought maybe he was in the back of the car
Sure.
taking a nap or I don't know. And we look in there and there wasn't anything in the car that we could see.
And at this point, you see the car, there's no Chandler in it. Do you see Chandler anywhere on your property?
No, because then we stopped and we're like, what the heck? We're looking around, what's he doing? Where is he? And you know, Dulce was kind of upset at that moment because she's thinking maybe he's doing drugs or something. She was really upset, thinking, well, he's doing drugs or something. What the hell's he doing? So I said, I don't know, but I'm done. I'm going to get in the pool. I just was hot and irritated and just didn't want to deal with it. And so I said, I'm going to the pool. We left and drove and parked the mower by the pool.
Okay, so you took your mower
Drove back.
over by the pool. Okay, when is the next time you see Chandler?
Do you want me to show you on that map?
Absolutely, I would love that.
We were in the pool, and I'd say it was right approximately in this area.
Was he kind of coming from that area?
Yeah, he was walking like that direction, like towards that way, yeah, coming
All
that
right,
way.
and his car was here, but he walked past his car, you said,
Yes,
and then walked over by the pool?
right.
Do you remember what he was wearing?
Like baggy shorts. He had a shirt on, I thought, before, and when he came back, he didn't have a shirt.
So when he was approaching the pool, coming out of the wooded area, no shirt.
Right.
Okay. All right. So he's approaching the pool. Does he actually get up to the pool?
Yeah, he came up to the pool, and I said, hey, Chandler, I don't have a shirt on.
Sure.
Because I go shirtless in my pool. That's kind of why I was waiting for him to leave, because I wanted to have the privacy to get in my pool.
You tell him you don't have a shirt on. What happens next?
And he said, well, if it would be all right, I'd like to get in the pool. I'm kind of sticky and I'm hot. And I remember looking at Dulce because I want to be respectful. And I said, well, I don't have a problem with it, Dulce, if you don't. And she just kind of was shrugged, and I kind of could tell she didn't really like it, but she just kind of turned and was sort of like, whatever. And so I said, okay. And so then I kind of turned and he got in the pool. He went to the east side of the pool and we kind of went to the west side of the pool.
Okay. And was he actively swimming or something
No,
else?
he just kind of dipped up and down and kind of was like washing, like himself off. He said it was kind of scratchy on his walk and his itchy and sticky. So he was just kind of like, and it was odd because he just seemed really different when he got in the pool from when he was talking to us before.
Different how?
Well, he seemed more lucid, like he just seemed more present.
What happened next?
Then Dulce was starting to ask him questions because I think she was concerned maybe he was doing some drugs, and I think she just wanted to sort of see if he was. So she started asking him questions and things like that to see how he would respond, because while he was gone and we were in the pool, that's what she spoke to me mostly about, is what's going on with him. I'm worried. I don't know why he's acting this way. What's he doing? And so
Just to clear this up, though, no paraphernalia or any evidence of drugs was ever found.
no, ever.
Okay. What happens next?
Well, we just started talking, she was worried where was he going to stay because he thought he lost his job, and she was offered to say he could stay maybe at her house in town for a while if he needed to.
Pardon me, I have to interrupt here. This is all hearsay.
Agreed. I'll go ahead and ask to rephrase the question, and those last responses
Sure.
fall in that category.
Outside of specifics of the conversation, how long was Chandler in the pool?
Oh, maybe 15 minutes-ish, roughly.
At some point, does he get out of the pool first, or do you?
He got out first. He said he was in a hurry. He had to go Catherine was getting dinner or something, and so he was like on a mission and had to like, let's go, and he got out and went to the car and drove off.
I just want to back up here a second. When you first talked with him on the deck when you were working on a project, he then left to supposedly go swimming, and then you didn't see him until he walked out of the wood line later. What was the time gap between the time he said, I'm going to go to the pool, and the time he actually went to the pool? From the time he left you at the deck area until you saw him walk out of the wooded area. About what was the time frame in there?
I'm guesstimating, you know, maybe 45 minutes, an hour-ish, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a guesstimate.
Okay.
It was a while. To me, it seemed forever because I wanted to get in the pool.
And then after he got out of the pool, he got into his vehicle and drove away.
Yeah.
Now, later that day, did you find out that he actually had attempted to contact you prior to coming to your property?
Yeah, later I remember seeing the message was blinking on my landline. So I pressed it, and then a name came up, and I didn't recognize the name, and then I heard Chandler's voice. So he had left me a message, but I didn't realize it until after he'd come and gone, and I listened to it later.
And did you turn that message or voicemail over to the Dane County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, I did.
I would at this time move Exhibit 64 into evidence.
No objection.
It is received.
Right there.
Hi, Chris. This is Chandler. I just got back with some pretty terrible news on my doctor, so I was wondering if I could come by. I don't know, take a couple laps to the pool or hang out, something. I'm not having the most ideal day, I suppose. So call me back, 920-838-4549. Thank you. Bye.
On July 7th, the next day, that Tuesday, did you receive any communication from Chandler?
Not directly from Chandler, no. But I'd heard otherwise that he was trying to come out, and I was having trouble with my phone for some reason, wasn't working my landline, and I was kind of feeling stressed and didn't really want to deal with anybody at the farm that day.
And so did Chandler end up coming out on the 7th?
No.
Later in the course of this investigation, various items were found on your property that you were made aware of. Is that fair?
Yes.
Do you keep a Rubbermaid or black rubber garbage can in your woods?
No.
Exhibit 59, what is that a picture of?
That's an old, I don't know if it's fuel oil or gas. It's for scrap. I just haven't took it to the salvage yard yet.
Did you keep any tools in Exhibit 59?
In there?
Yes.
No.
What is picture 60?
The entrance to my driveway, I don't recognize the car. There's a bag, and that's where I keep my recycling and my trash.
And that bag appears to be a Target bag?
I think so. I'm not sure.
62 and 63 are some items that were found in that Target bag. Did those items belong to your house?
No.
66 through 70 are pictures of your barn before you cleaned it out.
That's correct.
71 through 74 are pictures of something that you later found in your barn during the cleanout.
That's right.
Press, this is the garbage can picture, Exhibit 58 that I showed you that was found in the woods, but it was not yours.
No.
And how would you describe Exhibit 59?
It's an old fuel tank that's been sitting there for a while. We're going to take it to salvage, and you have to cut a hole in there so that they know you don't fill it with concrete or something, so they want to look in there.
And again, you didn't keep anything such as tools inside of it.
No.
Is that a picture at the end of your driveway?
Right. Yeah, that's where I put the trash and the recycling.
There's a Target bag here. Do you normally keep your trash outside of your garbage cans?
No. I would have put it in the trash.
Exhibit 61, just a close-up of Exhibit 60.
Right.
Exhibit 62, stuff that was found inside of that Target bag. Some rags with a substance on them. Did you throw away those rags?
No.
And Exhibit 63, just been separated out.
That's the north side of my shed. Yep, that's the messy shed.
Exhibit 70, there's an item here along the back wall.
Yeah, there's a bird bath there.
Can you tell at all from this angle what was behind the bird bath?
Well, there's a rifle there.
At some point, you discover a rifle in your barn.
Yes.
Do you keep guns in your barn?
Not normally. My dad, sometimes he'd keep a pellet gun up there, but he hasn't been walking for a few years, so.
When did you first see this gun?
Well, I was organizing along the wall, like I say, I was cleaning out my shed, and I wanted to go through these like garden tools because I'm making sure I still use them. Were they broken? I was going to throw them away. And I saw a barrel of a gun, and right away I thought, what's my dad? What the heck has he got his pellet gun over here? So I picked it up by the barrel and looked at it, and I right away recognized it wasn't a gun that I'd ever saw or seen ever before.
Before you lifted it up, was behind a board.
Yes, it was behind us, there was like maybe 4 or 5 different boards there.
Upon realizing you don't know where this gun came from, what do you do?
Well, the first thing is I just felt sort of this sick feeling, and I set it back down, and then I went to ask my father just to make sure that he didn't know about any gun in the shed, and I went and asked, and he said, well, what does it look like, or whatever, and I said, Dad, I'm just going to call the police. And then I called Krista, the head of the investigation. She'd left me her number. I called her and spoke with her and told her what I'd found, and she told me that she was going to send somebody out.
Okay, and do you remember roughly what month?
It was in the middle of October-ish because I wanted to clean out the shed earlier, but the police were there for so long. My raspberries started, so it was after the raspberries were done, which was sometime in the end of October-ish.
A few months later.
Yes,
Is that a picture of the gun that you found in your barn?
it looks to be.
That's just a close-up of the same? In July, when Chandler was on your farm, did you have your barn or your shed locked at all?
No.
No further questions.
Cross-examination.
Thank you. Good morning.
Hi.
Picking up where you just left off, do you ever lock or close up that shed or barn?
I haven't for some years, no.
And is it fair to say that before you got the garbage bin and did the major cleaning of the shed, you didn't know exactly every item that was in there, right?
No, not every single item, no.
And you testified that there was a delay in getting the garbage bin and cleaning out that shed because the police were there for a while.
That's correct.
How long were they there in possession of your property?
Ooh, seemed like forever, a couple of weeks at least, maybe longer.
And they had closed off that area to you?
Yes, they got kind of upset every time I come up with a lawnmower because I couldn't even mow my lawn, and they pretty much kept me by my house.
And was it your understanding that they were searching that area at that time?
Yeah, they were searching my whole property. They served me with a warrant.
Now, moving back in time a little bit to 4th of July weekend, I think I heard you testified that Chandler Halderson was not acting like himself. Is that right?
That's correct.
And it was for that observation that you and Dulce might have thought, oh, is he doing some drugs? Is that right?
It was a question because we couldn't figure out why he seemed a little off.
And you had never seen him like that before, right?
No.
And normally he's sort of a quiet, nerdy kid, right?
Yeah, that's a good description.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
May Ms. Lasai be excused at this time,
She's excused.
but not released?
Correct.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank
Have
you.
a good rest of your day.